Hello, everyone. My name is Zara Arsala, and I am the Senior Product Marketing Manager at Certain. And on behalf of the entire Certain team, I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. I'm so excited today to have Eric Egelhoff with us. He is going to share with us some pretty powerful insights around event intelligence and what it means for your business. And we'll wrap that up with a product demo. Very, very exciting. Hi, Eric. Great to have you.
Happy to be here.
I want to start out by saying that it seems that for most organizations, Eric, identifying the right event data metrics to track, or even what data to collect, it seems like a big challenge today, especially when you're hosting multi-session global events of varying types, formats, and locations. What's even more challenging is to figure out how to turn that data into actionable insights in real time. So the question is, Eric, how can marketers measure ROI to see the impact of their events and make better business decisions, meaning to make data-driven decisions to help them boost revenue and, of course, improve the results?
Yeah, well, that's the question I'm going to answer today. So I'm excited to be here. As Zara mentioned, my name is Eric Egelhoff, and I will be introducing our newest offering, Certain Event Intelligence, and help you understand how you can transform your event data into results. So what's on tap for today? We're going to talk about the data management challenges we all face. We're going to talk about breakthroughs in event intelligence, the value of event intelligence. I'll conduct a high-level product demonstration, and then we'll close it out with a summary and Q&A. So a lot of the challenges we face are that events are increasingly complex. There's a lot of different folks to manage, logistical components, they're very expensive, and they're very time consuming. It's also very difficult for us to understand and measure the success of the event. Who's going to what sessions? Are we driving the right audience? And even if we do capture a lot of data, it's hard to make sense of it all in a given moment when we're trying to move the needle forward for our events. And finally, event data is siloed. It's all over the place, and we have to figure out ways to reach it, which is why we've made event intelligence. At Certain, we're all about making every moment count. And the pillars of event intelligence are centralized data, real-time insights, and intelligent alerts. So at the forefront, centralized data, what does that mean? We're technology agnostic, and we can pull in data from all different sources. We recognize that you're going to be leveraging a number of solutions and tools to manage your program today. But at the center, we have to have data in a single place, and that data has to be consistent so that we can standardize that data and then leverage it to drive insights. So we'll generate visualizations for you so that you can glean those insights and then make informed decisions in real time. At the same moment, Certain, underlying through its AI and ML technology, can drive intelligent alerts to tell you what's going on with your program and give you guidance so that as you get into your events, you know that Certain's behind there telling you, hey, check this out, or here's what we're seeing with trends. So what does that look like? I mentioned we're agnostic. We truly are. You'll see over on the left-hand side here a number of technologies that we integrate with. This is not a finite list. There are many others that we can integrate with. I just wanted to provide some breadth and depth of we truly are that agnostic solution, but it's critical that once we pull in data from all different types, that we have it in a single data lake, that we can standardize the data, and then we can move it through to generate those visualizations and really help you make decisions in real time. So what sets us apart? We're a turnkey solution. We can do all the heavy lifting for you, manage the integrations, and surface up that data in a visually attractive way so that you can focus on what's really important, which is making decisions and moving your events forward in real time. We also can provide those alerts for you, and we do this at scale with security in mind, because data security is the most critical aspect of our corporate lives. So we're going to head into a product demonstration. Before I do, I just want to turn it over to Zara and make sure we don't have any questions from the audience.
Great idea, Eric. Before we jump into the demo, I wanted to see if there are any questions. Okay, there's a great question for you. The question is asking you, do I have to be an existing certain customer in order to use certain event intelligence?
Yeah, the simple answer is no. You don't have to be an existing customer to take advantage of certain event intelligence. However, it's very important or can add to the value of your program if you do already have certain or purchase certain, because we have capabilities around driving engagement and capturing data. So we can progressively profile and add that extra layer to your program.
Wonderful. And then there's one more question. It has to do with how long it will take for everything to set up and get them started using the product. If you could touch on that.
Yeah, it's a relatively quick process. It really does involve just understanding all the different data sources and integrations and connecting with your team to understand how we'll surface the data. You'll see in a moment as we jump into the demonstration a little bit more of what I'm talking about, but it's really a matter of understanding all the data sources.
Wonderful. Great. So without any further ado, Eric, please go ahead and show us a demo of certain event intelligence.
Awesome. So today I'm going to show you how you can get time back in your day, how you can identify trends with your program, how you can get notifications from certain and then take action, and then overall evaluate your program and see how you're doing historically. So let's hop in. All right, so what you're viewing here today is the Certain Event Intelligence homepage. This is designed to give you a quick insight or glance at what's going on with your program. A couple things to set the stage. You can filter by all different events. So whether it's timeline, the events themselves, or different accounts that you have access to, this screen will update based on who you are. So user roles and permissions are very important to us, as well as the security of the data. And so depending on who you are and when you log in, you may see different aspects related to the events you have access to. This quick snapshot here, how many events are in motion, how many registrations you have, the percentage of your attendance, as well as engagement, where people are coming from, and when your next event is taking place. Additionally, you'll notice this event intelligence score. This is broken out into two different or compiled of two different aspects. One is, how are you doing and how's your program doing? Are you reaching your attendance goals or your registration goals? Additionally, we'll compare you to your peers in the industry and compile this score. As you log in, you'll notice Explore Data. So these are quick nav links. If you know where you want to go, you can immediately click in and access any of the components that you want to. Or again, you can filter down by event or event series, etc. But where I want to really focus our attention is the lower right-hand corner here. Insights and alerts. So certain, as we talked about, is taking all this data and ingesting it, standardizing it, and then surfacing it up to you. But behind the scenes with our AI and ML capabilities, we're analyzing that and we're coming up with intelligent alerts so that as you log in, you have guidance of what should I be doing? Where should I focus my attention? So let's head over and navigate to insights and actions. Number of alerts that we have forecast alerts. How are you trending on your upcoming event? You have drop rate alerts like, hey, we're not seeing the registrations we should, or we have low session engagement. You'll notice though, on this forecast alert here, you're under by 18%. We'll give you some recommended actions to take, sending a reminder out, getting different avenues in your message out to campaign. You'll also notice, hey, you're above target. So there's successful alerts, there's forecast alerts, there's drop rates, a number of things that we're looking at, including if you leverage certain today, configuration alerts. So, hey, 30 days is your next event, and you don't have a form live and ready to go for your registrants to register with. So let's dive into event performance now that we've seen some of the actions that we can take. And we'll check out events that we're diving into. This is a historical event. Once this renders here, you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner, it'll always tell you what data you're looking at. So in this case, it's a user conference from 2020, and I'm in the planning phases of trying to understand, hey, what can I do leading up to our next user conference? Some other quick facts about the event here: 6,200 registrations. We had 97% of our goal reached for registrations. You can see we crushed it with our attendance. And then you can also see facts like, what type of event was. In this case, it's a physical event, so 100% physical, as well as 55 sessions over the course of 3 days. But at the core is our data visualization here. So you'll see these are standard visualizations that we surface up. Now we map it to your data. So keep in mind that, if these titles or these labels need to change, we work with you on that process. However, you will see, weekly registration volumes, where your folks are coming from, what target accounts are really making up the audience, what sessions are most popular. But if you look here, like who registered for which sessions, this is one of my favorite charts here because it identifies a few different aspects. One is the campaign source. So where are people coming from? Where are we having success driving people to register? And then in the middle here, you see titles. So who's actually registering? Are we reaching the targets that we want? And then are they registering for the sessions that we think they should, or that we know that message resonates with them? How can we drive them further to, register for additional sessions? You'll also notice up here that I can expand out. So if we have multiple different types of campaign sources or titles, I can expand based on what I want to see. And I can also look at it in the graphical view. Additionally, you'll notice a little camera snapshot here. If I want to make a presentation or export this to share, I can absolutely do that and take a screenshot, or I can export the data if I want to do further analysis. Additionally, I want to point out one more, registration, attendance, engagement by title. This is one of my favorites as well, because you can quickly see, are we reaching that target audience, and where do we need to make adjustments? So, hey, we're crushing it with marketing managers, but we need to step it up with marketing communications. So now that we've had a chance to see the event performance dashboard, let's talk about registrations. It's incredibly important to understand how you're trending with registrations. And in this case, you can do it in two different ways. One is what we've been talking about, which is a historical understanding. So we're comparing 2020 to 2021. The other is, how am I doing in the moment? And what can I do to impact the registration process now to help us reach our target goal? Well, what you'll see is over time, this is time on the bottom here for days for launch. And then you have your registration target. So how long did it take us to reach that? I've noticed spikes here. So your team can start leveraging this to say, hey, for the next user conference, if we want to reach 7,000 or 10,000, when do we need to start? So that forecasting aspect, as well as, hey, how often do we see jumps, or when do people really make that push? Maybe we send that reminder around that time to make that concerted effort to get everybody involved. We'll jump over to ROI and revenue. How do we tie it all together? So sticking with that theme of the two events, the 2020 and 2021 user conference, we can now do a comparison. Underlying all of this, again, is our ability to integrate and pull in data as needed, as well as push it downstream. So if you think about being able to capture budgetary details, as well as connect to your CRM, if certain has that all within a single landscape, we can start to look at what's the cost per registrant. We had 14,500 registrations across those two events, 11,000 attended. And it cost us $865 per person to launch this conference experience. But we were able to yield, with leads and opportunities to generate pipeline, 27 million in influence pipeline, or 1,800 per attendee. So an ROI of 2.17x, right? So if you think through having this data and being able to surface this in real time, this could be a comparison of a webinar series, for example, or a single event. But it's very powerful to understand, and especially for stakeholders who want to know, hey, how are we doing with this series? Should we continue to throw funds at this particular event type? Or does another event type yield greater results, and should we focus on those? So a lot of questions that we can answer just by looking at the data and having a way to surface it. So finally, we'll look at attendee engagement. This is one of the most critical aspects that we can leverage to make sure that we have folks that are engaged with the right sessions, that they're asking questions, they're taking polls. In this case, we're looking at a webinar series, so over the course of many months. But you can see, again, real quick, like who's our most engaged accounts and what types of folks are most engaged with us. Does that align with our target audience and our messaging? Do we need to shift strategies, or do we need to make a more concerted effort to focus on that, since the market's telling us that these are the folks that are most interested in us now? So it's a quick snapshot. Again, high level overview of certain event intelligence and the power that it holds. And I'm really, really excited by this opportunity to share it with you today. And we'll move forward and, hopefully you have the opportunity to see how you can get time back in your day through visualizations in real time, how you can identify how these events are trending as you search and navigate for the data that you want to see, how you take actions or how certain can guide you to take actions, and then how you can look at historical data. At the end of the day, we're all about making every moment count and helping you deliver business results.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you for showing us this, what this product can do. What an incredibly powerful tool. So thank you. Seems like there's a lot you can do with one solution here, from event performance to pulling all the historical data together to future forecasts. Just, so you know what to expect. I feel like there's so much built within this one product. It's incredible. I think it's a great time to take some questions from our audience. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, happy to take some questions.
Wonderful. I have a question coming in. Question is, why should I use Certain if I have my own internal BI team that can go through that event data for me?
Yeah, well, for one, it's a turnkey solution. So we take the heavy lifting and do that work for you, right? We're handling the integrations, but we're also, because we have access to all that data, we can surface it up to anyone that needs access in that moment. And keep in mind that there's historical data that we store for you. So you don't have to think through like, hey, you may have access or you may have this data captured, but you may not know where to go. And Certain event intelligence gives you that single location where, hey, I need to find this, I know where to go, and I can reference across all event types to make those informed decisions.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. One more question coming in. How can I get started?
Yeah, we can get started immediately. I welcome the opportunity to continue the conversation. It's really, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a matter of understanding the MarTech landscape that you have, right? What data sources do we plan to integrate, and what's your current environments that we can start to move forward with discussions on getting event intelligence in place.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eric, for that. We hope that you found, I think that's the last of the questions. And if there's any more questions coming in, and we will reach back, circle back to you, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation. We hope that you found this webinar helpful. And thanks again for joining us today. And we appreciate your participation. You will be hearing from us soon.